The word get is a verb. The dictionary defines it as receiving or having possession, use, or enjoyment of, coming to a specified place, arriving, reaching, and lastly, to succeed, to become enabled, or to be permitted. So with all that said, did you get it? Good. Welcome to Get the Podcast.
You better get it while the getting's good. It won't be long until I'm gone in all likelihood. Misinformed is an excuse, be the engine that could. I know my roots, I know my rights, and still misunderstood. I'm getting to it.
Hey, what's up, people? It's your friendly neighborhood Negro, JC. And Get the Pod is a micro pod where I give my 2 cents, a couple quarters, and a few dollars on some hot button issues in not only the Black community, but the overall global community. All of the episodes will be under 20 minutes with the goal of, hopefully, getting you to the point of fruitful and meaningful conversations with those in your immediate friend groups and circles. So, you got it now?
Yep.
You get it yet?
Think so.
Good. Let's go.
I was listening to The Read this morning. Shout out to Crystal and Kid Fury. And on his segment of The Read, he had a segment where he was playing a soundbite from two extremely racist, ignorant, motherfucking white folk in Chicago, where they brought on an Iranian American woman to talk about her fashion line, and of course did what racist white people do on the news, aka Fox News. And he proceeds to ask her a question about how she feels regarding Iran having nuclear weapons. Outside of the obvious fact of, bitch, I'm here to talk about my clothes, not to talk about foreign policy, she then begins to, pretty much just read them for their lives, talk about, how, because the white guy says, oh man, how Americans feel some type of way about trusting the Iranians. How are we supposed to trust them? And she was like, well, should we trust America, considering the fact and the legacy of colonialism and imperialism that they have imparted upon the Middle East and all the damage that they have done, and the fact that most of the weapons were actually given to them by Americans who, in tow, just like to, divide and conquer? And, of course, oh, God, Beth Sue, the white anchor says, the female white anchor says that, oh, my God, you're you're American. A lot of Americans might be upset with your comments right now. This and that. And she's like, and I read. So, I mean, what do you want? It's the truth. She's like, and just because I am American, there are some things that we can be proud of, but I don't think, the narrative of believing everything that we're told as far as, the greatness of this country and devaluing everything. She was like, I mean, let's be honest. This land was built on the backs of black slaves after the indigenous genocide. And of course, Sue Beth is like, well, Sue Beth immediately is like, oh, well, you can find her online, and that just ends it, because she just completely shut them the fuck down. But my point is, white people, white Americans, Trump supporters love to tout the flag of patriotism, the great patriots. America, the land, the free, the bold, the beautiful, all that good shit. And I've actually had some of these discussions with some people as a person that I greatly considers expatriating, by the way. Look up that word if you don't know what it means. But I just strongly feel like it's bullshit. Because I was having another discussion with my cousin who is, he's in the military. So, he's been some places and seen some things, done some stuff. But he's like, I envy American people sometimes. And I was like, how do you mean? He said, because they're sheep. And I said, this is largely true, but do expound. Americans get to believe that this is the greatest country in the fucking world, and that is complete and utter bullshit. And I was like, I couldn't agree with you more. And that, coming from a person in the military, is completely unpatriotic. It's heretic, kind of. But it's the truth. And I know when I've had these discussions with some people, when I had these discussions with some people, and I have some weird looking homeless white lady just ask me for like $1. No, bitch, go work. But when I've had these conversations with people, especially white people, they're just like, that's like unpatriotic, this and that. I was like, well, first of all, my statements aren't unpatriotic, because to be unpatriotic, you must have first been a patriot, and I've never been that. As is the sentiment echoed by most African Americans in this country, we are American by default. We can't help that shit. It's not something that we want it to be. So and a lot of us, there's no overwhelming sense of pride in this country, specifically because this country really just don't give us nothing. It takes from us everything. It has taken from us everything, but it has rarely ever given us much. So why would you, be like Stockholm Syndrome for, a country that really don't give a fuck about you? Just to be quite honest. So patriotism in and of itself, it's just a funny thing for me, because it's literally America's way of saying, we know we lie, and we know that we do fucked up shit, but you should still back this country behind all its lies and its fucked up shit, because you were born here. What type of shit is that? It's completely it's illogical. It's completely illogical, and it doesn't make any sense. But unfortunately, lots of middle America and those people that voted for Trump believe these lies without actually having read anything. And it doesn't help the fact that the schools that we are in don't actually teach the truth or teach the true history of anything. Most people don't even know what the Civil War was really fought for. It wasn't necessarily for slaves, but it was because the South was growing far too strong and wanted to secede on the backs of slave labor. And of course, this would be a detriment not only to the North, but to the country as a whole. So Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves not necessarily because he liked black people. Don't get that fucking lie just contorted. Don't distribute that. He didn't necessarily like niggas. He just figured for the better of the country, we kind of have to let these niggas go. Because, you're going to fuck up my way of life, and you're going to fuck up the way of life for millions of other people in this country outside of the South. And so the United States of America started as a penal colony, so it's no better than, essentially Australia. These are all things that are not taught. Hell, they barely want to acknowledge that slavery happened, and then they want to rewrite it. And these are all, so to be American and to be a patriot is to follow with blind, and I do mean absolute blind, ignorance and belief that this country has always done what is best for its people. I guess that's just my random rant for today. I'm just going on patriotism and how really, really fucking stupid the concept is. Yeah.
Get the Podcast is a production from the OVT Network with original artwork by Kenzo Sturtevant and original music by Sincerely Blue. The podcast is hosted and edited by me, your friendly neighborhood Negro, JC. If you found value in anything I've said here today, please subscribe, like, share, and comment on YouTube or Instagram at the OVT Network. You can also connect with me, JC, on IG at JC from the OVT. Gotta keep it simple, right? Don't forget to rate us 5 stars and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever your podcasts are casted. And lastly, did you know that if you share this podcast with just one person, we would double in size the community? So, with that being said, get to sharing, goddammit. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you listening. Peace.